I'm Lance Phillips. We moved to HD, which is supposed to make the picture clearer, not the desk higher.
I'm Chris King. The desk is higher, I'm lower, and you can see my face a lot clearer, which is not good for anyone right now.
I feel dwarfed right now by this desk.
It's something else. I'm reaching up to touch the computer screen here.
You feel like Frankenstein kind of.
Well, I'm hoping that we'll go through a growth spurt here and maybe the next week or two get a little above eye level on this desk.
I think we've reached the end of our growth spurts.
I
think we're there. Actually, if anything, we're going to get shorter.
HGH.
We're going to get shorter. Lance Phillips and Chris King with you for The Gloves Are Off. Welcome to the show, folks. Catch us on Facebook and Twitter. Of course, Twitter at Gloves TV. Facebook, The Gloves New Cap. Got a couple of guests on the show this week, Kinger, which we haven't had for a little bit.
No.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited. Ready to go. Local guests,
yes,
too, which
absolutely.
is a big deal.
So we have Sierra and Chantel Stapleton. Sierra did an incredible thing on the weekend, organized a ball hockey tournament in Maidstone, and I had a chance to talk to her on the phone. I couldn't make it to the event myself, which was unfortunate. Raised a lot of money, and it's an unbelievable story, and it's worth telling.
Yeah, I'm excited to share that with our viewers for sure.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to having them on after the first break, which is going to be exciting. We might as well get into some chat, Kinger, about what's been going on in the sports world.
We shall.
We'll start with the NHL playoffs and Sidney Crosby, who has been a man on a mission against the Flyers, going back to Game 1, a 7-0 routing of the Flyers. 3 of those coming from Sid the Kid. The last, a deflection for the ages into the top corner. Is he solidifying himself as the best player in the world? And maybe even more, do you think the Pens can roll if this guy continues this type of play?
I think he already was the best player in the world, to be honest. Like, he's been so good for so long, but the Pens are really, really good when he's playing at this level. Now,
when he plays at this level, unbeatable.
He's had some injuries in the past that has made the Pens beatable with the concussion problems and stuff like that. But the hand-eye, like the deflections that he's pulling out right now.
We've seen so many. We saw one a couple weeks ago where he knocked it out of air and kept it in the air and then flicked it in. And this one was a deflection into the corner. Like, he meant to put it there.
And he just kind of skated across, like, from bar down deflection.
No problem. This team, I actually didn't think they'd get past the Flyers in the first round, because of all the NHL hockey teams, the Penguins have played the most hockey in the last 3 years of any of them. And I thought they're going to be tired. I just don't see them. If Sid Crosby carries on like he's carrying on, everybody's in trouble.
Well, and that's the scary thing right now for them, is that they have the experience of being there. They've won, right? Everyone knows if you get them late in a series, it's going to be trouble, especially with Sid and Malkin and Kessel. You got a bunch of guys that can score goals.
And don't forget what Malkin did over the course of the season. He was pretty good.
Yeah,
he was pretty good.
That team, and everyone in the new NHL, everyone says it's so hard to be strong year to year. Well, they're kind of what the Blackhawks were in the early 2000s, right? They're doing a great job of being that good.
Which is scary when you think, like, maybe a couple years down the road, are these guys going to start to fizzle out? Like, are we seeing maybe one of the last great years of the Pittsburgh Penguins?
It could be. What is this, the 10th or 11th year for Sidney?
80
points.
32?
Yeah.
I mean, he's nearly an old man in the world of the NHL.
He is, yeah. But he's still dominating, so hopefully they stay strong for a few more years.
I just can't get over that he has been, given all the injuries he's been through, he is still producing at the rate he is. You know, people could say, oh, his regular season wasn't that great. It doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. It matters what you do now, and what he's doing now matters.
Yeah. Josh Donaldson is not producing. He's on the 10-day DL for the Toronto Blue Jays. Lance, what does this mean for the short and long-term future of the Toronto Blue Jays?
Are you asking me what I hope it means, or what does it mean?
What it actually means. I don't want to hear what you hope it means.
Yeah, you do. Of course you do. What I hope it means is that we're going to see Vlad Guerrero Jr. at some point. That's what I hope it means. I don't think it's going to get to that point.
That would be amazing.
But what it means is that, like I said a couple weeks ago, we're going to go through another season here where the right side of the infield, left side of the infield, whatever you call that side of the infield, is going to be without 2 of the great players. Going to be without Donaldson. It's going to be without Troy Tulowitzki. And this dead arm thing is not dead arm. It's dead shoulder or injured shoulder.
Yeah, it's very scary for the Blue Jays right now that their best player is out this early on.
Can't even DH.
No, can't DH. And now when you're hearing about it, they can't diagnose what it is. They're saying it's like dead arm. They're going to put him on a shoulder rehab program, which they say could be 3 weeks, could be 4 weeks, could be 6 weeks. Yeah, this is a train wreck, an absolute train wreck. So what do you do now? Because you have fill-in players at short and at third, and they're not going to keep producing.
What I want to know is, how did they get to this point? How does this not get discovered before now? Like, why are we starting the season and now Josh Donaldson's going on the 10-day DL?
My bet probably a
I
cortisone
don't want to
shot.
hear what your bet is, Kinger, just like you didn't want to hear what I hope.
Probably a cortisone shot that covered it up for a while. That would be my bet.
Well, they're going to have to figure something out because you can't carry on the rest of the season like this. And you had made this point earlier that Donaldson's value is going down. And I said, no, it's not, it's fine. It's dropping. It's dropping like the Titanic.
You were adamant. You almost said I was right there. That almost just happened on the show.
I will never admit that you're right. You know that.
That's true. I don't think the Jays are going to do anything to pull up their youngsters right now, unfortunately.
No, they're not. I said hope.
Yeah, the team is playing well. The pitching's been good. The bullpen's been great and really good timely hitting from the Jays. Is that going to keep up? Are they going to keep scoring with runners in scoring position? I don't know, but Donaldson needs to get healthy for this team to be a playoff team or have a shot at it.
As a person who would be following the Jays, I would be less worried about the Tulowitzki issue than I would be the Donaldson issue. Tulowitzki's days are behind him. His best days are behind him from a healthy standpoint. Donaldson, they, like you said, they need the guy. If he's not there producing, whether it's on the field or at the plate, they're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Recognize the name Andre Ingram? No? Well, nobody really does. Until recently, which is April 9th, when Ingram made his first NBA appearance after playing 10 years. That's the equivalent of 384 games in the NBA's D, now G League. Made his first appearance with the LA Lakers. Poured in 19 points when 6 of 8 shooting in Game 1 against the Houston Rockets. Game 2, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. This guy tutored people, Kinger, on a part-time job to make money. Is this the best story in the sports world so far this year?
Easily the best story.
It's unbelievable.
It is amazing. And when you hear this guy talk, such a humble guy, like he's very happy to be there. He's like, I knew if I put in the work, I'd get a shot. No one gets a shot at 32. And this is a really classy move by the Lakers and Magic Johnson to bring him on. And now they're saying, look, we want you around the team next year. We want you to be a part of this no matter what.
I think it's incredible.
He made $19,000 a year playing in the G League.
That again, why he tutored people on the side to make money for his family.
He made $14,000 in 2 NBA games. So basically his season equivalent in 2 NBA games. Like now he's not going to have to tutor for months now that he played those 2 NBA games.
It's, you can make a case for lots of great sports stories. I mean, the story we had of the goaltender being called up on an emergency basis, and now the name eludes me. That was an unbelievable story. This tops it. I love things like this. As someone who gets paid to tell stories for a living, I think this is incredible. This is we need more stuff like this. And this is the kind of stuff that I think really makes people love sport.
The feel-good stories. That's
for sure.
What it's about.
And I'm not sure that we'll see another one quite like this. This was wild.
Especially in the NBA, which is a sport where you need to be running and be really active. I could see maybe like an MLB guy come up.
The guy's in good shape. Make no mistake. I mean, you see the guy? He's in great shape.
He's in great shape. He's got white in his hair. Like I got my white coming in. He's like fully white, which makes it more impressive.
Did you watch the first game against Houston?
Yeah.
Did you see his first shot? His first shot is a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
The very first one.
Unconscious is what he was in that game. He just let it ring.
I can't get enough of this type of stuff, and I wish that GMs would do more to bring these kinds of players in, because this is what will make them money, really.
Yeah, it's a great PR move. Roy Finch was arrested on assault, possession, among some other charges from the police on Sunday night. The arrest was one thing, but 10 police officers took him down when he was took to the station, which is causing incidents like this. Could this, Lance, maybe cause our athletes to take a knee or fight against criminal violence to police officers to criminals?
Okay, first of all, you don't need 8 police officers to take down one guy, and you don't need 3 more hanging out at the side to make sure that everything's going according to plan. This is the reason guys like Colin Kaepernick are taking a knee. This is it. And until this kind of stuff stops, those players are going to continue to protest, and they have every right to protest. And if people don't like it, then all they have to do is just watch this video on replay. Just keep watching it until you figure out that it's not right.
Yeah, and that video is shocking.
Shocking is an understatement of what it is. It's violent.
You know something happened. We didn't get to see what happened at the beginning of the video.
Whether
he hit an officer or not.
And so this is the thing. They're saying that he physically assaulted an officer, whether he punched him or took swings at him. Of course, that video is not out there. And you would think if you're the police, you want that video to be seen
100%.
because you just put a video out that saw you essentially assault a guy on the ground.
That's your
But
backup.
that's
if
not,
you're
that
the
video is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, and the scary thing is, was there one police officer there when he got hit, or was there multiple guys? Because in that video, we also see him get tasered.
Three. They're tasering him. They're doing everything to get him down. There's 3 of them, and then all of a sudden now there's 5 more in the pile.
And
it looks like it looks like a fumbled football.
Yeah.
And the guys are trying to get it.
And I don't know if you happen to see that tweet after his face afterwards.
His face looked like a piece of hamburger meat.
Yeah, and rightfully so. This is why this is such a big issue, and the NFL players have done a great job of tackling this. Yet some people don't understand that this is an everyday occurrence in America and even in Canada.
This is, I can't stress it enough. And people are giving guys like Colin Kaepernick flack, and he's not playing NFL football, and he's good enough to. He's not playing NFL football because teams don't want to deal with him protesting. You know what? Instead of not wanting to deal with him protesting, why don't you back him up and go at this type of behavior that's happening out on the streets all the time?
Yeah,
if you want to put your energy into something that matters, it's what we just saw a video of. It's not Colin Kaepernick protesting and taking a knee.
I agree. That's not the issue.
Going back to the NHL playoffs, the Winnipeg Jets were humbled in Game 3 by the Minnesota Wild by a score of 6-2, but overshadowed was an injury to Jets defenseman Tyler Myers when he collided with Marcus Foligno of the Minnesota Wild. He missed Game 4. He could miss more. Are the Jets in trouble without this guy?
Well, I think they are in trouble. He's a young defenseman. He brings a lot of length and physicality to the team. The question is, when you see lower body injury, what is that? Did he break his leg? Is it a sprain? Is he going to be back? Because even a day and a half after, we still don't know how long he's going to be out. So it's scary, but Winnipeg has enough depth that they can handle an injury or two. There's a lot of other teams that can handle an injury. If they have one of their key guys go down, they're done for the series.
Having a solid defenseman back there is a big deal, whether you have them or whether you don't. And now that they don't, they could be in some trouble here. It remains to be seen how this is going to play out, how long he's going to be out for. But well, I think they could be in some trouble.
On the flip side of that, you're seeing Minnesota go through the same thing with Suter out.
Yeah.
And Carson Soucy, our Irma product.
You can be rest assured that Minnesota is like, yeah, you're too bad for you guys. We've been without our best defenseman for a while.
Yeah. And if you saw what has been happening on Winnipeg's side, every time the third line D and Soucy's out there, they're sending out their first line because they know this guy doesn't have a lot of NHL experience. He's a good defenseman, but now Winnipeg's going to be targeted the exact same way.
And it puts more stress on Hellebuck. It puts more stress on Hellebuck to make saves for Winnipeg, and he's been great, don't get me wrong, but added stress for everybody is not what you want out of your team.
No, and I think he'll be back the way that they said this. I think he'll be back, but maybe not this round. If they can sneak through this round, I think he'll play, and we'll find out something.
You would expect that they would sneak through this round, but anything can happen in playoffs.
Yeah, and injuries changes that for them. So.
No, and I can't tolerate when they talk about this lower upper body injury. The NHL's the only league that does this.
I know.
They're
ridiculous.
the only one that does this.
Yeah.
Like, just tell the people what's going on.
Yeah,
they do it because they don't want the other teams to focus on it.
Yeah.
You have to be an absolute savage to go out after that guy on that exact injury again when he comes back.
Yeah, but I think teams would use that to their advantage, unfortunately. The 76ers dropped Game 2 of their series. Joel Embiid sat on the bench while he was cleared to play. Lance, do you think this was a good decision sitting Embiid, who's possibly their best player in Game 2?
No, it's poor. Get the guy on the court. If he's cleared to play, he can play. They lost to the Heat. If he's on the court, they probably don't lose to the Heat.
I agree. I don't think they lose that game. I think they're slowly trying to get him back into the lineup. And
Are you sitting on the fence with both legs over? Or are you taking a side?
I'm sitting on the fence. I'm
Take
okay.
a side.
You know, I'm okay with them sitting him. I'm okay with that.
Why though?
Because they're going to win this series eventually. When Embiid comes
It's
back,
one thing
it
if he's
changes it.
not cleared though. He's not cleared to play, and they're like, okay, we're putting him in anyways. That's a problem. Now you have a definitive problem there. He was cleared. Get the guy on the court. Get the guy on the court. What happens if this is a situation where Miami all of a sudden is like, hey, we got a chance here, and they roll out a win, another 2 wins, and now it's 3-1 for the Heat because you didn't play arguably your best player in Game 2.
Well, then you get in the old what if. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, right?
You shouldn't get to the what if. Play the guy. If he's cleared, he's on the court.
So I'm thinking the 76ers thought we won Game 1. Our best player was out. We didn't play great. Game 2, they played awful. They shot the ball terrible. And they're thinking, okay, we're still going to win this series. We got to win 3 of the next 5, right? That's what they're thinking. So
the opposite of that is that you win Game 1. You're like, okay, if we get him in, we're going to win game 2. Now we're up 2-0.
Right,
That's the other side.
But it's not like you're going to sit him after you play him, right? You sit him at one game, you play him. It's not like, okay, we'll give him a day off, right? If this was Simmons, they would have probably played him. But Embiid's injury history, the fact that he played
Did you say the Beebs injury?
Embiid.
The Beeb?
The
The
Beebs. The fact that he played like 36 games in his first 2 years, I'm sure they're scared of any little nick on him, and they're valuing the future. They could win the East this year, but they probably think, you know what, the next 3 or 4 years, we should own the East. I think that's probably what they're thinking, long-term focus. And Sam Hinkie is loving that the Sixers are good right now.
Well, how couldn't you? I love that the Sixers are good right now because they were absolutely garbage for the longest time, and it's nice to see them actually winning.
Yeah,
it's nice to see them winning playoff games, getting into the playoffs, but they've got to have Embiid in there.
He'll be there. He'll get it.
Sierra Stapleton and her mother, Chantel Stapleton, joining us after the break. Can't wait to talk about this. This is an incredible story.
Awesome.
We're back. You can keep your gloves on, but ours are off.
Welcome back, folks. Sierra and Chantel Stapleton, nice to have you guys here.
Thank you.
We had talked at length, Chris and I, about what you did in Maidstone. An incredible thing. Tell us, first of all, about the event. So you did a ball hockey tournament that you organized last minute, correct?
Yeah, I put out flyers Monday night, and I had people asking to come join on Tuesday morning. So yeah, we had from Monday to Thursday to put on the event.
And how many teams did you have?
I ended up having 24 teams.
And you were hoping for how many?
20.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
Especially for the community to jump in like such short notice. So
Yeah.
was it all local teams?
Yeah, and there was a couple from out of town, but that was about it. It was mainly local.
And
teams.
Maidstone's not a big community,
No.
right? Like it's not a
No.
big community. So to get
No.
these types of, this many teams is impressive. When I asked Sierra who helped her the most, she said that you did, Chantel. I mean, can you just explain the level of pride you have for what she's done here?
Oh, I have a lot of pride in her. She's a very passionate girl, and when she sets her sights on something, she does. But yeah, I did help her a little bit just with fine-tuning the organizing and stuff like that. We reached out to a couple hockey players, like there was some junior players there, one from the WHL there. It was nice just to see them all come together.
How big was the community in helping you with this?
It was huge. Like without the community, I probably wouldn't have been able to raise as much money as I did. Yeah.
So let's get to that point about the money.
Yes. So how did you do in the fundraising?
I raised just under $3,500.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Okay, so I need to, because you said you charge $10 per team.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing the math, and there's 24 teams, that's $240.
Yeah.
I mean, my math is not hot.
Yeah,
I believe
This is way above my level right now. This is above my level.
So Kinger's out.
Yeah.
How did you generate the rest?
Silver donations. There was one of our family friends from Brooks had messaged mom and said, "Here, I'll give you $100. Like, put it towards her what she's doing and stuff like that." So there was a lot of support from even out of our province when we started posting on social media and talking about what we wanted to do and stuff like that. We had crazy amount of support from especially our community too.
And especially like the grocery store, he donated all the hot dogs, the pop, the chips, so
That's
that
so
we could
great.
just sell for the proceeds and stuff like that. So I
And
mean,
a-
that was very generous because the food booth was just constant.
And it has to be, right? Is it
Yeah.
not like that?
And a
Yeah.
PlayStation. He donated a PlayStation. We did like raffle tickets and stuff like that for it too.
Yeah.
This is, I got to tell you that I know you weren't there when I was talking to you on the phone originally, but I don't know if you could sense it in my voice, but I was wiping my eyes in my house. I'm like, oh my word. So I got off the phone and I said to my girlfriend, I'm like, oh, that was unbelievable. I'm like, that conversation was unbelievable. I'm like, I have to get this girl on because it's an unbelievable thing. And we haven't even talked about where the money's going. Where's the money going?
So the money is going towards the Humboldt Broncos. And basically what we're going to do is all of the funds that we get will go straight towards them and like help them with the people who need to, like who are disabled and things like that right now, because that is going to be a huge impact on their lives for the rest of their lives. So.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Lance and I talk about this all the time, how this tragedy, unfortunately, is uniting the sports community, but also communities in general. How has that affected your school and like your area? Obviously, you doing this event does a lot to bring together the community, but can you talk a little about how it's affected your school in general?
In our school, there's a lot of hockey players. Like, my friend got off a bus an hour before the crash happened, and he said, like, to hear about the crash later on, it was like, oh, that could have been us kind of thing, right? And he also, like, our school's a big sports school. We push sports in our school all the time, so it was a big impact because we're always traveling on those kind of buses. Like, it could have happened to anyone, and yeah, so it impacted our school a lot. Like, for the past 2 weeks, our flags have been at half-mast because of what's going on.
And you play sports yourself.
Yeah.
So how does that affect you, Chantal, when you think that Sierra's got to get on a bus to go somewhere? What do you think about now?
Well, we did it naturally without even thinking about it, right? They play their sport and you just go, okay, yep, we're traveling on a bus. Or I've sent her many a times because she ski races, so it's just been her coach driving them in a van full of kids, and you don't think about it, but now you can't help but think about it. It just, I don't know, you just really care about them and you want them to be safe, but you think that they will be. Nobody should have had to go through this, I guess, and that's why we know that it's hit so many people on so many different levels, I guess.
Yeah. Can you what was the feedback like from players or the community back to you about the event?
The one team had been really, really good friends with a couple of the Broncos, and they said, like, they really needed it. They really needed to get out and just play for them and put some money in and help the cause because it was hitting them at home.
Right.
It was hitting them harder than what a lot of other people were getting hit too. But my community was very, very positive based on the feedback we had. A lot of the teams were donating more than what the original price was and stuff like that. There were kids that if you had 4 on a team, they'd go, okay, we're all going to donate $3 and stuff like that. And you were getting, like the elementary kids were even doing that for me and stuff like that too. So that helped out a lot.
It was pretty neat because we ended up doing it like 4 little tournaments because we had this age group had their tournament, this age group had one. And at one point to look out into the stands and see the rink in Maidstone just packed, like
That's awesome.
It was like, wow, like our community pulled together to help another community in such short notice.
I did a speech, and when I looked out, you literally could have heard a pin drop in the audience. That's how quiet they were just to listen to what I was saying.
Yeah, so we have a couple of photos, and I think the first one is actually of you doing the speech. Yeah, so this is the one you sent me about you doing the speech. What was going through your mind doing this, knowing how quiet it was in there?
It was an insane feeling to think that everyone was listening to like every single word that I had put into it. And just like there was, when I was running through it a couple times in my head before, there were a lot of tears because that hits back to home too. Like my cousin passed away of cancer a couple years ago, and like to think that he always got on a bus and oh yeah, he was fine and stuff like that too. Like that was personally hitting home hard for me too.
And then the other one we have is you with one of the teams, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there it is there. So who is this in the photo with you?
The only one that we know for sure is the one in the middle, and that's Josh Selsky, and he grew up in Maidstone.
Yeah.
Is this the winning team?
Yes.
This is the win. So these are the victors.
Yeah.
Okay, the real victors on the right side.
And what was you guys talked about a couple different age groups. What was the age range that you had involved in this?
So we had from grade 4 to 12 and then adults. So we had an adult pool, which Josh Selsky's team had played in. And then we had, so like 4s and 5s played together, and then 6 and 7s played together, and then like kind of above. We really didn't have much teams from like grade 8, 9, and 10 join, so it was easier for us to make our pools that way.
That's so cool.
That's why we opened it up to the adults, was so that those older boys teams would have someone to play. But yeah, there was all the way up to in their 40s for sure out there. A few heated moments, but that's hockey.
That's interesting. So I was just going to ask, how competitive was it? Because to me, I'm thinking, okay, this should be fun, people be just enjoying themselves, but how competitive was it?
The kids were interesting, like they were just having fun out there, and you could tell they were being very sportsmanlike to a lot of people and stuff like that. And our out-of-town team, like we got so many comments later, we're like, oh, those boys are so sportsmanlike and stuff like that. And then like the adults get out there and it's just like, wow, there's a lot of like interesting moments here.
There was a few that I was like, you need 2 refs for that game, like, because it is getting way too heated.
Our final, we had 2 refs on the court because we just were, it was interesting.
Not feeling comfortable with it?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
And it's it's interesting that with the ball hockey tournament like this, hockey is Canada's sport. It unites so many people, and to see you guys do it in such a small community, uniting the whole community from, as you said, grade 4 to adults is really overwhelming. I don't think any other sport could possibly do that, because Maidstone is a hockey community, right?
Right, yeah, and it is. And that was one of the reasons she wanted to do it, was with our cousin who played in the WHL. We saw when he passed away, like, how connected the hockey family was, like how far it reached. And she just said, Mom, like, if that affected one person, can you imagine all those 29 people on the bus? Like, how connected and how many people? Right. We have friends that are billets down in Drumheller, and those boys that they billeted knew them. Like, and when you're a billet, you just take them in like they're one of your own.
Right,
So.
you have them for an entire season.
Yeah.
Have you dispersed the funds at this point? Or
Not yet.
Okay, so what's the plan with that?
So we still have a couple funds coming in because we're selling Broncos bracelets at this upcoming event our school is hosting. So we're gonna sell those, and then next upcoming Friday we'll have our total funds and we'll send them in.
That is so cool. Have you had anyone from the Broncos community reach out to you at all about it?
No.
That's still, I just cannot get over it.
It's very impressive for someone at your age to put on an event like this
No
and be
joke.
so active.
And how many days was it that you had to do it?
Well, I texted Mom Sunday and I'm like, hey Mom, do you know what? And she's like, what? And I was like, I want to put on a floor hockey tournament. And she's like, okay. And then
You're thinking like 2 or 3 teams, 4 or 5 teams? something
Yeah,
like
like just.
and then I just said, like, I'll bring it up to my SLC members, and SLC was on board, and they just said, yeah, we'll help you with what you want. So I went, and Thursday at lunch, they started hauling everything down to the rink and stuff like that. We set everything up, and then Thursday afternoon, I was setting up posters and stuff like that in the rink to thank sponsors and stuff like that too. So
so how many games did you have happening at a time?
3.
So you had 3, so you're going across, so
Yeah.
that's so cool. That's so great.
How many overall people do you think were involved, from like sponsors and like yourself helping out? Like, because not only the guys playing in the tournament, but like how many people ended up being involved in this?
A lot. Like, there were teachers from the elementary school who, when I was in between games announcing who was on court, like getting the kids to make sure they left their equipment and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
like,
that was a challenge.
yeah, without a lot of the teachers and other staff behind me, I probably would not have been able to pull it off as smooth sailing as what it went that night.
It is incredible what you did, to say the least. I really wish that I had been there when you sent me the email and I could have gone, but when you told me the story, like I said, we just had to have you on, because I think there are not enough people like you in the world to do this kind of thing. I think you should be proud of yourself. I'm sure that, Chantel, you are incredibly proud of her, and I'm sure your community is really proud of you, and I'm really glad that we get to share this with our viewers, because
Yes, thank you very
it's
much.
incredible.
Yeah.
It really is. I hope we get another one maybe next year at this time.
That was one thing I was going to say is too, like, that was the feedback. Like, so many people had so much fun. Can we do it
Yeah.
again next year?
Yeah.
You know, like, let's.
Like, a lot of the
Yeah.
boys have repetitively said to me, so like, is this going to be an annual thing and you can donate to other things? I'm like, I don't know. I would really have to think about it, but
Yeah.
Well, if it happens, make sure you let us know. Thanks
Yes, for
again
sure.
for coming in, guys. Really,
Thanks
really
for
glad to have
asking
you.
us.
Really glad to be a part of this, and in some small fashion.
Yes,
And
thank
I
you.
expect to see you next year. Coming up on the other side, it's Albert. He's filled up, Kinger, and we've got some good stuff in there today.
Some good vids, it looks like.
You ever go to the gym?
Nope.
If you can't score, you might as well drop the gloves.
Welcome back. I still am blown away by what that girl did.
It's an impressive young lady to get that all done so quickly and to bring in the whole community and get them involved.
It's unbelievable. And you know, the one thing that I've been thoroughly impressed with, in a way, is that this tragedy has really shown the true colors of a lot of people. You see a lot of people that have really treated others well, and you have seen some that have not treated others well, that are questioning the motives that people are, behind some of this stuff. And I made a tweet that I really wish that the way that people have treated each other throughout this would stick, and people remember it and they keep doing it. Nobody wants to hear from me anymore. Let's go to tweets.
All right. I'll start it up. I'll agree with you.
Okay, buddy.
Rough and Rowdy at Rough and Rowdy The ultra rare hump punch knockout.
Like,
you can only see it rough
What
and
is
rowdy.
this guy doing? The hump punch. The hump punch. Like, have you ever seen something like that in your life?
That's a classic move. No, I have not seen something
Classic hump punch. Classic hump punch. Winnipeg Police. At WPG Police. Please party responsibly at the street party today. We will be checking bags for unacceptable items such as alcohol, drugs, weapons, and Minnesota Wild merchandise. Hashtag Go Jets Go. Hashtag WPG Winnipeg Whiteout.
That's amazing. I like
It
that
is
the
good.
police have a sense of humor.
Yeah,
You've
for
got
sure.
mail.
What do you got, Kinger? What do you got? I feel like we're loaded up with videos.
I'm
today.
betting it's a video. Pete Blackburn at Pete Blackburn. Brad Marchant out here licking dudes.
Like, I don't know what he's...
I'm not I thought it was a hickey at first he was trying to give him.
You can't see close enough. You can't really tell if he is actually touching him with the lips, but you can guarantee he's got
full
it.
lick. He's a weird.
Hey, there's
dude.
mail.
That's a weird thing to do on a
Weird,
hockey
it
rink.
doesn't even begin to cut it. Sean McKenzie at Sean McKenzie SN Sportsnet. The best thing about Renee Rancourt, so Renee Rancourt, the singer for the Boston Bruins, best thing about Renee Rancourt anthem is how he steps out onto the ice and acts shocked to be there. Like, how did I end up here? Or, oh well, since I'm here, I'll sing for you.
The best part is the fist pump.
Yeah.
Hey,
He has a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, he does. It's too bad it's his last year.
Yeah, he's done after this year.
He's done.
The score at the score. Randy Moss once convinced Bill Belichick to attend a team Halloween party at a roller rink. We need to see more Randy and Bill moments like this in our lives.
Like,
Hey, you might win the damn prize.
it's incredible that he's convincing him to go to this Halloween party.
And Moss is a guy that had a sketchy past that in there. It's awesome, their relationship.
We don't go out.
And it's a roller skating party. It's a roller derby, like not derby, but it's a roller skating thing. Like, look at Bill. He looks like John Gibbon.
Except for with a brain, and he's a good coach.
You don't like Gibby, eh?
No.
Not a big fan. Look at him in the pirate suit.
Amazing.
It's unbelievable. If you watch the rest of it, he actually is like skating around the oval. It's unbelievable. Another Sean McKenzie. So this is just before game one at Sean McKenzie SN. My Boston cab driver is wearing a head-to-toe Bruins tracksuit and matching hat, and we just hit 100 kilometers an hour in the airport pickup lane. Guy is playoff ready.
Awesome.
you've got mail.
I gotta say, Boston. I was there for playoffs. They support.
Madhouse.
Yeah.
Madhouse.
Crazy.
Unbelievable stuff.
Starting nine. Noah Syndergaard's 97-mile-per-hour.
This is
fastball
unbelievable.
movement.
How do you hit that?
That's
And I don't know who's hitting there, but look at him go to his knees. He's like, oh my word.
It's wiffle ball. Like, you can't make a ball move like that. That's
Well,
crazy.
he can.
I don't even know how it's going that fast and moving that far. It doesn't make sense.
I've never seen anything like that. ESPN at ESPN. 2 people climbed on top of the Rogers Center roof in the snow to fix the hole in the roof. I used to live in a condo in Toronto that looked into the Rogers Center, so I could see people. You saw people on the roof periodically, and they look like ants. They look like ants,
there's
and it is
mail.
petrifying even to watch.
That can only happen in Canada. 2 guys on the
imagine
roof
climbing the roof to
to get snow off. Like,
Fix a hole
the
in
rest
roof.
of America is just saying, what's going on?
What is
out there?"
happening here?
Barstool Sports trying to chase your hopes and dreams at Gone
Like,
Patrol.
honestly, I don't know what this guy was thinking when he did this. Like, just flop.
Full penguin. Full penguin.
Full penguin. Okay, seriously. Ryan Rashog at TSN, Ryan Rashog. The Nipawin Hawks have asked Chris Beaudry to come out and help coach for their upcoming playoff series. Beaudry has accepted and hopes to be there consulting for games 1 and 5. Incredible gesture by both sides, heartwarming. Chris Beaudry is the last remaining coach of the Humboldt Broncos. There's no other coaching staff.
Amazing gesture by them. Amazing gesture.
I mean, can you imagine being the only guy remaining?
Yeah, I think this should help bring some peace to him. I think it's just such a classy move for them to do that.
It's unbelievable. And I mean, I can't imagine how he feels. The amount of sorrow that man must feel is just overwhelming. It'd be absolutely painful.
Yeah.
But it's good that they've got him on.
Hopefully it
that's for
helps the healing process.
Yeah, for sure. Coming up on the other side, we've got bold predictions revisited. That is happening.
Some good, some bad.
We're back, and the gloves are still off.
We're going to get straight to bold predictions revisited, but Kinger had a tweet that he is dying to show.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
2 complaints, and I never complained. 1, no Corporal Matthews this week.
No, there
which
wasn't,
was a
because
shocker.
Corporal Matthews, it's like he took days off. There was nothing going on since April 13th.
Twitter suspended.
Yeah,
Twitter
maybe.
suspended. Okay, this tweet, Barstool Sports at Barstool Sports, taking the whole tub of pre-workout instead of 2 scoops.
What is this guy doing?
I don't know, but I've watched this 30 or 40 times. This is unbelievable.
The best part is the old dude, like, just doing whatever he's
on the
doing.
elliptical.
Yeah.
Recumbent bike, just pedaling away.
And this guy is maniacing out over on the side. And he's like, I can't. If I saw that in the gym, I don't know what I'd
Have
do.
you ever took pre-workout? It's true though.
I have.
You take too much of that.
I have, but I've never taken it where it makes me an absolute psychopath.
Yes.
Okay, let's do some bold predictions revisited now.
Yes.
This is bold predictions and over/under revisited.
Yep.
There's not a lot of right answers. I'm going to put it that way.
I see my name on this sheet a lot.
Well, because you did a show with Josh when I was away,
Right.
and there was a bold predictions and an over/under. So there's one I want to bring up right off the bat, Kinger. There's one
great.
I'm dying to bring up.
Great.
We're going to go back to September 5th. Now, I had to look into the archives for this. I had to go back to the archives. September 5th, and I've been keeping this one in my mind, because you said on September 5th that DeMar DeRozan would shoot 34% from three-point land. He did not.
That was wishful thinking.
He shot 31, which actually is way more than I thought it was.
It was
gonna
an
be.
improvement though. He
Yeah.
did improve.
It was better than I expected for sure. But that one was not correct.
So would we take that as a close, like I was closely wrong
Yeah,
on that?
close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, pal.
Oh my God, the only guy I've ever heard say that is my dad.
It's true though,
by
if
the
you
way.
throw a hand grenade close, it's going to be effective.
All right, so let's, that's a fact. I'm going to jump to April 4th. Lance predicted, which was just a little while ago, the Red Dogs would not allow more than 15 points in any games this season. Lance, what has happened in the Red Dog season so far?
So the Red Dogs are doing a great job of limiting defenses. I'm going to have some words with defensive coordinator Paul Hayward, because this past Saturday, they gave up 16. They gave up 16 points.
So
They
that-
won, which is natural. They clobbered. They always win.
Yeah, they're still good. They still did a good job. But
16 points. So that bold prediction is incorrect.
1 for 1.
Now, Kinger, I got a doozy here somewhere. All right, so you and Josh thought it'd be funny to bug me about the way I tweet.
Yes.
When I was at
Yes.
the the ACAC championships, you said that I would tweet over 3.5 times that Briarcrest should be in the national championship, because they weren't, because they.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was at the
CCAA,
that was
yeah,
national
yeah.
championships I was at. Right. So you guys both said that it would be over, that I would tweet over that amount. I actually didn't tweet it once, for the record. Not once at the CCAA national championships.
Was that
So-
a spite thing?
No, it wasn't. I didn't even think. I don't think about you guys when I'm on my own time. So that was incorrect, Kinger. Don't judge me by my tweets.
I think you set that up. I think that was a total setup right there. Okay, so let's go. Shockingly, I was wrong again. Alex Ovechkin to score 9.5.
What date is this?
This is on March 7th.
Okay.
He's going to score 9.5 goals. It was over/under in the final 17 games, which would have put him at 50 goals.
Right.
I had the over. I was wrong. You were right. Ended up with, of course.
No, I didn't. I wasn't there that
Sorry,
show.
Jo-
that was the Josh show. So
Josh
I
show,
didn't
right.
actually say
Sorry.
anything about that. But if I had, I definitely would have taken the under.
Just I was wrong. Yeah. Sure you would. He had 49 goals.
All
Still
right.
really good.
I'll tell you what. I'll throw myself on the sword here. I said that the Boston Bruins would win the last 3 games of the season and win the President's Trophy. Now this was fair, because they played Florida twice and Ottawa.
Yeah, you love their schedule.
I did. I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought they were in good shape. They lost to Florida both times. They lost to Florida both times. They beat the Sens, but everyone's beating the Sens. So I was wrong. That bold prediction was too bold.
Feels good to hear you say it, though. Let's stay with the Senators and you being wrong. November 8th, bold prediction. Lance Phillips. Ottawa Senators will be in the Stanley Cup final. That, of course, was wrong.
That is true. Well, you know what then? If you're going to, 2 wrongs make a right in this case, Kinger. So you had that the LA Clippers and the Utah Jazz would both get into the Western Conference playoffs. The Utah Jazz did, but where did the LA Clippers finish?
Just out.
Just out. Doesn't matter. Just out. Close. Horseshoes and hand grenades again.
They were a ways out. Okay, I'm going to stay with that November 8th date. I had that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady would retire at the end of the season, which technically could still happen, but as of right now, I'm wrong on that one.
I got one more for you, Kinger. You said that Zeke Elliott on November 8th, Zeke Elliott would serve a suspension by year's end, and I said there's no chance that that's going to happen.
You were passionate about that.
I was, because I thought there's no way. He did. He did serve it.
The NFL finally got one right there.
I wasn't keeping track, because on this page, there's a lot of wrongs. I didn't keep track.
They should actually just bold it on the page the rights that happened, so we could really
there
start
wouldn't be
those.
any bold. There wouldn't be any bold, and I don't think I had one right.
I think I had a 2.
I don't even know if I got one right. That segment's gone.
We're back. You can keep your gloves on, but ours are off.
So this desk raised up like 2 or 3 inches, and it honestly, I feel like I've been dwarfed in it, which is hilarious. This whole show, we felt super weird about it.
Took our manhood.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we're on to 2018 Sports Movie Madness, and we're ticking along here.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, things are happening. The first round is nearly done, and we had the closest of close calls this past week.
Yeah, a barn burner, as they would say.
And so we've talked about the juggernaut 4 or 5 matchups, and these haymakers were thrown this week.
It played out.
Yeah, big time. Okay, so let's talk about this past week, Kinger.
Let's go.
What happened in the 1 versus 8 matchup?
1 versus 8. Remember, the Titans beat Love and Basketball. 85% of the votes for Remember the Titans.
Not beat. They clobbered.
It's a throttling.
Clobbered Love and Basketball.
Throttling.
Did you expect this to be this high?
Yeah, this isn't really a basketball area. Remember the Titans is that good.
Yeah,
It's
the football
that good.
movies, I don't know why it is. They just always seem to be good. Okay, again, a not so surprising win. Caddyshack, the Canadian classic Caddyshack, won. Beat up on the Karate Kid. Took 71% of the vote to Karate Kid's 29. So the Karate Kid
got a few votes.
is out of commission for a while. Caddyshack is moving on.
Yes.
Again, not surprising. Caddyshack's a classic, man.
Yes.
It's
Very
awesome.
funny movie. We might have to watch these all on the weekend. Field of Dreams.
I'm sorry. I made a mistake, Kinger. I made a mistake that I thought it was the 4-5 matchup that was tight. It's not. It was the 3-6 matchup that was tight. I apologize.
Yes.
So
They're both tight in terms of which was the
3-6
tightest.
was a close one.
The 3-6 was the tightest. So we had Field of Dreams versus The Sandlot.
Couple of
couple beauty baseball movies, and Field of Dreams won with 51%. This is like an election
took
vote.
it by 2%.
2%. We might need a recount on this to check the polls. But Field of Dreams is moving on with Kevin Costner.
And then in the 4 or 5 slot, we had Moneyball and The Blind Side. This is a tough one. Now, I haven't been voting in any of these, just for the record. I have not, but I'm like, oh my word, I don't even know who I'd vote for, because they're both excellent. Moneyball was the victor, 67% of the vote to The Blind Side's 33.
I may have voted on that.
Yeah, it's okay.
I may have
I've just chosen not to vote, because I just don't vote. Okay, so that means this coming week, Kinger, we've got number 1 versus number 5. So remember, the Titans is going up against Moneyball. That is a heavyweight matchup for the ages.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going to happen there.
That's going to be a good one. I'm predicting another 2% victory is what I think.
Another election win.
Yeah.
And then we've got Caddyshack versus Field of Dreams. Who do you like here?
I like Caddyshack.
Yeah,
I think Caddyshack takes that, maybe handily.
Caddyshack, although they're ranked at number 2, they could be an underdog and could roll or could be a one that kind of goes under the radar and rolls through.
As per se an upset?
But they're a number 2, but I feel like they might upset some of these heavy hitters. Now we're on to, that was the TriStar division. Now we're on to the Paramount division.
Yep.
So what do we got? What do we got, King? Let's start off with our 1-8.
We have what should be a runaway, but producer Blake might argue with this. Any given Sunday, the number 1 seed versus number 8, Air Bud.
So Blake's breathing heavy in my ear right now, and I have Sorry.
Panting.
Yeah, he's panting. He just made the point. He's actually not
played.
panting.
Well played.
That was well done for sure. If Air Bud gets more than 10%, I'll be shocked here. Now that being said, I could see producer Blake, rallying the troops here, and Air Bud comes out with a big win.
I actually think Blake might pull the Russian bots and get a bunch of fake votes just to see Air Bud trying to go through. I think that's what we could see here this week.
All right, another good football movie. Number 2, we've got We Are Marshall going up against number 7, A League of Their Own. Again, A League of Their Own is a great movie. I'm a Tom Hanks fan to some degree, but We Are Marshall is unbelievable. And true story movies, you can't beat them.
League of Their Own's true story movie as well, but We Are Marshall is phenomenal.
That's fair. I never even thought about that.
Yeah,
It is a
both
true story.
really great stories. I think Tom Hanks is really good in A League of Their Own.
He is.
It's worth a watch. It should be a good one. The 3-6, Raging Bull versus Dodgeball.
I feel like Raging Bull is one of those movies that a lot of people aren't too familiar with. There's going to be people who are like, what is Raging Bull? It is a classic that a lot of people put in their top 5 of all time.
It's almost like a cult classic, almost generational. If you watched it, you think it's phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, you just say,
It's a Martin
what's that?"
Scorsese
Yeah.
film. Robert De Niro is in it. It's about a boxer that absolutely fights his inner demons, basically.
Yes.
It's a heck of a movie.
I think that'll be tight.
Dodgeball sucks. Dodgeball sucks as far as movie plots go. This shouldn't be close, but I have a feeling Dodgeball is going to win this.
The entertainment value is high in Dodgeball. Very high.
Yeah, if you're on acid, I guess. Okay, the number 4 and the number 5. Again, this is a bit of a heavyweight battle because they're different movies. Number 5 is 42, the Jackie Robinson story. Number 4 is Happy Gilmore, a maniac golfer who, does his thing. 42 should win this, but I'm not convinced that 42 will.
42 should win this in a landslide, but I'm going to tell you right now, they're not winning. Happy Gilmore is winning this, and I'm going to say 70% of the vote Happy's going to get.
Okay, so the polls are now open. Vote now,
Yes.
Kinger. Get your votes in.
Get it in.
You can catch it on the Gloves Twitter account, @GlovesTV. The polls are up, so have your vote. It's the last matchups of the first round of 2018 Sports Movie Madness, and then we're moving on to the second round.
Yeah, then it gets serious.
It's
Second
exciting.
round. Yeah.
We've got to finish the show, though, with one very important thing that we need to mention here. I'll let you have the floor.
Yep. Macy's birthday, my daughter's 3rd birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday to Macy.
Yes, happy birthday, Macy. Happy birthday.
Probably last year you're going to like me,
you.
so
That's cool.
let's stay with it.
Yeah, I hope she has an awesome day. What are you going to do for her?
I'm going to take the day off, spend it with her.
See you in 7 days.